this is Ken. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a little bit of Azur laying up, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So let's talk a little bit about the collab. I'm really not particularly fond of this collab. What they've done is they've got the collab, the Chili Rising collab, and they've embedded this crafting, sort of crafting game inside of the actual collab, and they overdid it. Quite bluntly, they overdid it too much, way too much, that can be completed on a reasonable time limit within 2 weeks. There's so much stuff, so much gear. Okay, this is all got to be crafted. Okay, and it's not difficult. I mean, it's really easy. If you want to craft the Astromonics, hit quick select, and it'll tell you. You can click and you can see exactly where you need to go to get the material. I know you need to go to TH4, and I'll be able to get that. That'll be that piece of material. That'll open up this, and then so basically you just have to begin farming that. It's not really difficult, but it's just really just mind-numbingly too difficult to actually. I spent like an hour and a half just wandering aimlessly, getting all of the requirements to complete the actual tools. You need to make sure that you do complete the tools, because if in each of these actual TH levels, there's an actual item that you want to get, and you want to get the item. In this case, it's actually this the scythe, and you want to make sure that you get that for each. And at the second level, it's like an axe, and various items that you want to get. So it's actually something that you want to actually do. So make sure that you craft those items first. Basically just focus on them. Once you get those, you don't have to craft it once. Once you've crafted it, it's with you for the remainder. But that will guarantee that as you go through each of these TH1, TH2, 3, 4, that you'll be getting the maximum amount of good rewards, because each of these levels will have a crafting node inside of them. Once you've cleared the main, I think it's like 4 or 5 of the enemies, that node will pop up, and then the boss will pop up. So if you set it on auto, your auto search, you'll actually go right to that node, pick up that node and clear it, and then go to the boss if you're doing auto search. So you won't be losing anything if you do auto the stages after you've completed. You'll have to complete it the first time, and everything after that will be just fine. So that's where you need to remember about that. But there's just a lot of equipment. It's way too much equipment. As you can see, this is a whole lot of gear. Okay, so it just they just takes too much stuff in terms of that. The actual event hub and the request board, just basically go through, just focus on that stuff. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus. I'm going to do each of the TH levels. I'm going to do each one of them 10 times. Then I'm going to take all that stuff, do it, and see what's left over. The characters themselves are not that bad. There's no UR characters in this particular. I've gotten all of the characters except for Patricia. I've got Sarah. I've got Rysland. I've got Claudia is actually in the shop, but I actually built her today, which is thankful. That saves me 8,000 crystal clusters that I can save and use on that. And I got Lilla. So, and I got Kala ideas inside of the mini mint. But I haven't got Patricia yet, but I'm going to keep pulling. Keep in mind, there are no UR characters in this game, and we'll be having a UR event pretty soon. So please keep that in mind when you're actually doing your characters, pulling for this, as you might not have enough to hit the pity on the actual UR character, which will be released sometime soon. So this is just a fun way to kill some time. Stories, pretty much like all the collab stories, wake up in another world. It's got the Azur Lane Flare on it. I'm not going to tell you who the protagonist is. You can probably guess. Her allegiance is sort of kind of in flux most of the time. I guess she's sort of kind of on our side. Sort of. But you know how she is. I'm not going to say who it is. But you'll get, once you start the event, she pops up pretty quick. and you'll know immediately who we're talking about. So she's involved in it, so it's got the Azur flare, which always makes it interesting. I find her to be exceedingly interesting character, and I'm glad that they're continuing focusing on her. So we've got her involved, so that gives it the little thing. But yeah, like I say, I think they went a little bit overboard with this actual crafting. It didn't not need to be this convoluted. I mean, yeah, they make it easy. You just click on the thing and it'll tell you where you got to go. So it's not like it's hard. It's just a little, I guess, mind numbing would be the case. But don't worry about it. Just get those items, get those crafting tools done if you haven't already. They're automatically equipped. You don't have to put it on a character. Once you synthesize it, it's you've got it, and it'll automatically appear as you're having the item, so that when you do one of those TH levels, you get the maximum amount of rewards. Because if you don't have that item, you're not going to get the high rewards when you hit the crafting node. Right before the boss appears, the crafting node appears, and you'll automatically go to it in auto search. So there's no need to miss it. You know, when you're doing auto search, you're going to it. You will get it. You'll hit it, then go to the boss. But you want to make sure that you get the maximum amount of the high level crafting materials inside of that. So it's best to make sure that you have the specific tool for each level. Okay. It's like a scythe on TH1, it's like an axe on TH2, and each of them has their own little specific weapon. So make sure they're at the top of the list of things that you want to craft. So it's not like it's it's like that. After those, then you can start focusing on the gear, and as you can see, there's a lot of it. I've already built a couple pieces of the gear, so it's not really difficult. But they've got some really good stuff. So. A lot of it's going to be focused specifically for the characters in this game. Okay, so understand that. But there's a lot of interesting stuff in here that you might want to use. Okay, so as you can see, they have a huge amount of buffs. So it's definitely something to look into. And browse through it is what you might want to do. Pick out what it is you might want to be going for, and then craft that first. Then after you've done that, come back and start getting what you can, because we've only got 2 weeks, and that's my big gripe about this. Something this large and something this complex should have been given a little bit more time than 2 weeks. Okay, so at the 7th, this is going to go bye-byes. So the shop, of course, will be open. Since I've got Valence, I don't have to worry about that. I picked her up today. Inside of so I've got Sarah, I've got Lila, I've got Resin, and I've got Kala, and then she's in the mini event, so make sure that you don't do that. Okay, so I'm just bringing them up right now. I've still got to get Patricia. She's the big one that I'm going to have trouble getting, and Valence is actually I haven't put her in my favorites yet. Right here is Claudia. So so that saves me the 8,000 inside of the shop, because she is in the shop, so you won't have any trouble if you don't. But crafting her is nice because it saves you the 8,000 crystal clusters that you're good. As I've said before, this is pretty much a standard fare in terms of that. You want to try to get as many crystals as possible to purchase as many of the items as possible. But it's a little bit it's a little bit more involved, and a little bit more mind-numbing. Fortunately, you only have to complete those TH levels once. When you first open it up, if you kill all the characters and then do it, it becomes a 3-star right there. So it's not it's a little bit more simple in terms of how we had the the C1, C2, C3, D1, D2, 2, 3, having to do the same thing over and over on those. But yeah, do that to TH, then you'll get to the SP level. SP level is pretty much just make sure you do it each day. And then you have the EX level afterwards. But yeah, so there's no UR characters in this build, so keep that in mind when you're going to be starting to focus on your actual next event, or probably the event after. We'll be probably going to be getting another UR character. So you want to try to make sure that you have as many cubes on tap. Like I say, I'm fortunate as I've gotten everybody except for Patricia. So hopefully I'll be able to pick her up within the next few days, and then that way I only have to just do one on it. But we still got plenty of time for the event. I actually got Rescue twice. Now I've got Sarah twice. So it just happened to hit the luck and see if I can actually hit Patricia. but we'll have to see. I'm running low on space at this particular point, so I have to clean my thing out quite frequently. But yeah, so that's it. So I think it's the story pretty good. We'll do a little bit review on the characters here in a couple of days. When there's only like 7 or so days, we'll do that. Don't see any of I've perused over the skills, proved over the characters. I don't see anything meta breaking here in terms of that. So nothing's going to be changing in terms of large scale at this particular point. That may change once we get all these weapons crafted and this gear done. That's one of the things that has me a little bit hesitant to make a definitive proclamation, is because of the fact that there's a lot of gear here. A lot of gear. Okay? Let's see, screens and screens and screens of gear. Okay? So that's gonna, it's gonna make, it's a lot of stuff to craft. Okay? So, and don't forget the events actually on the request board. As you go through this stuff and getting everything knocked out. I would go ahead and do each of the level 10 times as required by the events, and then from there you should be able to craft quite a bit of the stuff, and then focus on what you want and what you need for your characters first, then come back around, as I've said, and then you can start crafting the other gear if you want to, one by one. As we've shown out, it's exceedingly easy. Open it up. Anything you're missing will be shown after you hit quit select. Just click on it, and it'll tell you exactly where to go to farm it. So it's not like you have to go hunting for it. It'll tell you exactly what TH node it's on. Go there, auto it, and you'll get the item. And you just do that for each one that's missing, and pretty soon you'll have all the required items to craft it. There's nothing that's out of reach. It's just a little mind-numbingly boring, but it's something you do on the side. You have it off to the side, and it's running and running and running, and you're doing your little thing off to the side. So that's the way I look at it at this particular point. But it seems to be pretty interesting in terms of that. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot going on. Like I say, you got that. The SP node is SP. It's as always a little bit. Make sure you do it daily to get the crystal clusters for it. There's an EX node as well. I haven't had a chance to try that yet, since I've been focusing on running and getting all of the items complete and gathering the items. Need this, need this, need this, need this. But yeah, build those 4 divine crafting tools first, so that you'll be able to get the best, highest rewards when you hit the node inside of the TH level. Okay. Other than that, everything's pretty simple. The collab, we got the same construction, an exchange shop, nothing different. Keep on pumping the counting, because you can get multiple copies of her, as you know, within the game. Everything else pretty much assimilates from these. Some of that will be disappearing here at the end of the week, but for right now, that's the main focus. So yeah, you want to get in there, get that. But as of right now, it doesn't appear to be anything. I'll make a video if something starts to disrupt the meta, but currently it doesn't look like it's going to. I didn't think that they do that. Normally, one of the things I notice about the collab characters within Azur Lane is that they're not very useful. Okay, in some of the other games, when they come out with collab characters, such as just as once 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, those characters are nearly game breaking. And their last Shield Hero collab, they come out with the characters that are exceedingly powerful. There are counters for them, and once you learn how to do that, it's not so difficult. But the characters are making a splash, and they're very, very usable. And right now, you'll see them at a lot of the higher end PvP, which is where the whales hang out, and they're utilizing those characters. But have we noticed inside of Azur Lane, the collab characters generally don't play that much of a role. It's basically just get them to get them, and then you might, one or two of them might have a usefulness in something, but in terms, it's still basically mostly just the UR characters, your standards, New Jersey. Nothing's changed in that. We should be getting the captain for the actual Northern Fleet here pretty soon. I'm hoping that'll be the next one we get. Subsky Soya. So hopefully that'll be our next UR ship. Now that we've got Musashi for the actual Sakura Empire, she's really the only fleet captain that we really don't have any that's known because she's appeared in several of the cutscenes, but we've never actually had a chance to actually get her. So hopefully that'll be something that'll be coming out pretty soon, and definitely something you want to patch up. So you want to make sure that you have about 300 cubes on tap for that. Okay, so yeah, it's an interesting story. Azur Lane Flare, little bit busy on this crafting, but you know, it's nice that they mix things up. It's nice to have an event where you don't have to do A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, then go to the hardwood, C1, C2, B2. It's really nice that they don't have to do something along that. But the stories that come with it is what makes those events so. The event we just had with Musashi was excellent. They really do kudos on the actual storyline for those events that our ships are involved in. They have just been so excellent. Definitely the best storylines of anyone. This one right here, as with the collab, it's difficult to expand on the story much because, you know, basically, you know, wake up another world, meet up with Azur Lane and collab, join bushes, find a way home type thing. So, but they put the little Azur Lane flair into it with our favorite sort of kind of maybe sometime protagonist. So that's what makes it interesting. All right, so I just wanted to go ahead and give you a heads up. Yeah, very easy. Just just gonna have to do it. A lot of busy work for the next week or so, so we'll jump into it. But I'll do a video if we haven't made a change, but I don't really see much of that happening at this point. I've put several hours into it, and I'm going to be doing here for another few hours, and just start crafting all the items. I mean, that's the best way to go about it, and go from there. But I'll get as much of it as done as we can. You want to make sure that you, of course, have about 45 or 50,000 crystal clusters at the end of the event, just so that you'll be able to purchase everything that you need. So that's still pretty much standard, so nothing's changed on that. All right. So again, thanks a lot for watching. Remember to subscribe. Once you've subscribed, you'll see that bell. If you click on that, you get notified each time I drop a video. Also, remember to like and share the video, as that helps the channel immensely. This is Kenrir, still coming at you from the corner, signing out.